We're live. Good evening, everybody. Tonight we are raging with Cara Nicole. You might know her as AZ Powergirl. You might know her as Fire Bitch. And this is episode 63. Kind of crazy. We are really happy to have her here tonight. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button and share this out. And the links to follow her on her campaign, Cosplay Visions, is in our show notes, as well as her other social media. So make sure you follow her everywhere. Just don't peek at her windows because that's weird. We'll be right back after this.
Ragin.
Asian. Kinky.
That's right, everybody. We are raging with Cara Nicole this evening. I'm getting ready to drop the card here and say hello. I'm without my co this evening, but that's okay. We got this. We got this, Cara. You had a very busy weekend. How was the convention?
It was crazy. Let me tell you, I met some of the most amazing builders out there. AK Wiru was such a sweetheart and just a great guy, and I'm loving his content. SKS Props was there. They're always so educational and informative and just down to earth great people. B&H Cosplay, had to give him a whole hard time. Good friend of mine. Goofy Kaka, Colleen Cole. You know, just there were so many great people there. I had an incredible time.
Nice. Now, so I want to get into the meat and potatoes of business here. You do a lot. You know, you are a very, very busy woman in business. You do cosplay. You make your own costumes. You do video. You do videos. You do comic books. You've done movies. In fact, you've got another one coming up soon.
Yes, I do.
When it comes to business, okay, and we've talked to a few other people who have kind of like their fingers in a little bit of everything. I know for me, I've done bricks and mortar before, and like you have to be married to like basically one bitch. And sometimes, you know, like real life, home life, things like that suffer because you're really trying to make this work. So how do you balance all of that and have the quality of work that you do?
I have a scale. Is that not the right answer? No. They say that if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And that is not true. If you do what you love, you will work every minute of every day of your life. So I create a schedule, actually, and I'm not the best at it. So let me tell you, when you're doing your own thing, people think you're unemployed. They say you don't have a real job.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, well, you work from home, so you can do blah, blah, blah for me. You can watch my dog. You can pick up my kids from school. You can come to my thing. And it's like, no, why don't you? And people, can't you just miss one con? Can you just miss a week or two of work and come hang out with me? No, you can't. It's the same thing. You know, you have to keep to a schedule. We have band practice that we have to do. We've got, we were just invited to do an online music festival. So that means that we would have to, you know, be prepared for that. We also have a new album we're working on. We also have our books that we're working on. So we have to make time for that. And it's interesting because one of the things we're realizing now is we've made time for everything except us, ourselves. So now it's like, you know what? Putting it down, putting down the phone, putting down the laptop, putting down the tablet, I'm putting it down. And I'm going to go walk at the park and pet the stray cats. And I'm going to go take my dogs out for a walk. And I'm going to go do some Tai Chi and take some time to be with me. Because we do that when you work a 9 to 5, when you're off work, you take the hair down and you go and sing karaoke and you make dinner and you sit with your family and you watch a movie. And when you work for yourself, you're editing while you're watching a movie. You're coloring while you're watching a movie. Anything you do is you're still working. And so, you know what? Nope, putting it away. So that's very important to have balance and have a schedule, because it is easy to get wrapped up in other people's things. So it's like, nope, I'm from this time to this time, this is what I am doing. Can you just, no, I can't, because I have work to do at that time. But you need to be specific, I believe, because if you just say you're working, but can't you just take a break? No, I can't.
Yeah, because you're the fallback. You're the person who you have to answer to, and you're the one whose efforts are going to pay the bills.
Well, yes, and we also hire out people. We hire a letterer for our books. We hire graphic designers. We hire video makers. We hire shipping assistants. We have a warehouse manager. So instead, you don't have to do everything yourself. If there's a costume I want that I'm not confident or comfortable or have the time to make, hey, Colleen, do you want this commission? Oh my God, I love your cup. I love coffee cups, just so you know. If anyone wants to coffee cup me. But yeah, that's what you do. You gotta take time to balance everything. And people don't balance. And that's how you burn out.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm a little bit worried about my internet because it looks like I have it's waffling. So if I disappear, don't disappear, Cara Nicole. I'm just letting you know.
I'll just take over your show. Be like,
that's right. Take over. Because
Yeah.
there's plenty for you to talk about.
I literally just walked in. I walked in the door and logged on. I just got back from King Con, so.
Mm-hmm. It is a very busy schedule. Now, how have you found like the crowds, the vendors, the other cosplayers and things like that, as far as now that the world is opening up a little bit? Is it kind of back to normal,
No,
like pre-COVID stuff, or no?
No, and I'll tell you, everywhere you go is different, and every time you go, it's different. So I did Steel City a few months ago, and that was when people thought, okay, everything's open up again, we're all good. Very few people were wearing masks. It was crowded. People were butt to butt. It was very, very packed, and people were like, it's over, yay! And guess what? A week later, it's like, glory to Glorzo all over again with a mask back on and doing it all over again. It depends. So I was in Houston. Most people did not wear masks. They don't care. They don't want to. I was just in Seattle, and guess what? You had to show your vaccination card to get into a restaurant. So the hotel, you were wearing a mask the entire time. I've done more shows this year in a mask than out of a mask.
Has that affected like your costume choices?
Not so much the costume choices. It kind of did. I just got a face shield, a nice, like, clear one. So that was great for like Chitara, because to do all this makeup and then have half of it be gone. Some people are actually taking and decorating their masks with the rest of their face. And that's really cute. But now that I have the whole face glow.
It's like the shield. You're right.
Yeah, it's like the face glow, but it's not the crappy one. It's just like it's actually really nice. And so I could do Chitara that way. But then Sunday I did Betty Rubble, and Betty and Wilma and I both just have regular masks on. So it really just depends on the costume. A lot of people, you have the idea originally that, well, you're going to make your mask match your costume. And no, I'm not. Because after a day in that, you just want to throw it out. It's gross. It's been, so you just chuck it.
So now with Cosplay Visions, and we're going to bring that up on the second half of the show. Um, Tell us what it's like on a photo shoot for you.
Can you be a little more specific?
There's a lot to a photo shoot, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to let's just say, walking in the door, if you're brand new, if you've never done one before, like let's just turn this into like a teaching moment here. You've never done a photo shoot before, you're brand new, you found a legit photographer, which I think is very important because there are a lot of scams out there.
And you've checked their references.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that
What
doesn't mean just looking in their book saying, oh, you shot these people. You contacted those people.
Yeah. So like walk us through like what people should be looking for and what they should bring with them if it's their very first photo shoot.
Well, you're going to bring everything that you need to shoot. Red flags you want to watch out for are things like you can take it off. Go ahead. You never want to be in that position. You want to bring someone with you that is not another you. If you are a young lady, bringing your friend so she can shoot too is just creating another victim. If you're shooting anything sexy, you probably don't want to bring your dad. But if you bring your boyfriend, guess what? You run the chance. I know photographers that are like, you cannot bring your fucking boyfriend because then the boyfriend gets all like. Now, I can bring my husband because he's a photographer as well, and I only work with photographers that I know really well. Like I worked with a guy named Bob this weekend, but I was shooting in public. So everything's very different. Are you shooting in public? Are you shooting in front of people? Are you shooting privately? There are basic bitch things that everyone does. It starts off with ripped something, ripped jeans. Very, very newbie common to do. Like onesie pajamas.
Onesie pajamas?
Yeah. I got a new onesie. It's so cute. No, it's not. I mean, and here I am saying that, but I have plans for mine. But it's a cosplay thing, so it's a little bit different. So yeah, there are a lot of very specific things that you need to consider. Like when I work with, there's a couple of photographers that I know that I've known them forever. And, my husband has gone, but I'll just go by myself. I know him. And the worst thing he's going to do is buy a box of donuts and make me take it with me so that he doesn't eat all the donuts. I'm like, but then I have a box of donuts that I don't want to eat either. So, start small, start public, especially if you're in cosplay. Shoot at the con with a few locals. There's a lot of legalities in regards to that as well. You can't just shoot at a con with someone and then sell all their photos unless you have that contractual agreement. So there are those things, that's not the time to go to someone's brown. When the convention owner says, well, I see that you'll shit nude. I'm a photographer. Why don't you stay on an extra couple of days? No. You don't have to take the clothes off. Taking clothes off is not payment for a shoot. You want to work with a photographer that doesn't know you took your clothes off because they're too busy looking around behind you. And yes, your boyfriend's iPhone could be a good camera, but if you're going to go that route, get a good editor. Make sure that everything is compositionally cropped. I know a lot of girls that'll send their images to a printer and they're like, this isn't 11 by 17. You cut off the end of my crop. Send me a photo that's the right aspect ratio. There's a lot more than just modeling. There's things like print quality. You want at least 300 DPI. And guess what? Your iPad is set for 72 because it's set for digital images, not for prints. Print quality is very different than online. If someone is purchasing a photo set from you or a cover of a book, you don't just dump the camera at them. and everything on there. They don't need your 58 blurry pictures. You need a fully edited art piece. It'd be like if I hired a prominent artist and they sent me, you know, a rough outline. That's what that, when they click, that's what that is. That is a rough outline. That is not a printable image. You need to make sure that there's adequate room for titles. You need to make sure that you have logoing on there in the right size. You don't want giant ass logos. Are you watermarking your stuff? So that's a whole other ball game. Like there's just so much. And I'm completely unprepared for that question.
Sorry about that, but I love the idea of watermarking, making sure that that's there so that your photographs are protected, from piracy. At least, if somebody tries, you're like, hey, dude, take that down. But the other thing, there were two things that you kind of touched on there. One was kind of like a portfolio. Not doing a photo dump, making sure that that you have your best photos. And like any model that's out there, cosplayers kind of need that. I would think. I'm not one, so I'm just assuming that if you are kind of building up your repertoire of costumes and things like that, trying to get into cons, trying to be an invited guest. I mean, you've gotten to that caliber where you're invited to many. You have to have a decent portfolio.
You do, but you have to have more than that. You have to have credentials. People think, I have all these costumes. Good for you. Are you bringing in paying customers? Are people coming to this con to see you? And that's always good. Do you have something to offer the convention? What can you do panel-wise, judging-wise, that you have experience in all of these things? The last con that I did, a lot of these cosplayers, they've been in many magazines. They've, these are World Summit winners and judges. These are people who travel all over the world. That's not my forte. I'm the one that was in Forbes a couple of times. That's my forte. I've been in Forbes magazine. I've been in heavy metal. I have a different realm. I'm the one that's going to teach you about the business side and those sorts of things.
So how does one build up the credentials if they're just coming out of the gate? Then because
they're conventions. You work for other people. You show up. You don't wander off. You meet people. You network. You take jobs. If you're a good craftsman, maybe you take some commissions. So it really just depends on what you do. A lot of people now just open up an OnlyFans and open up their legs. And that's fine if that's what you want to do, but that's not going to get you those cosplay guest spots. A lot of builders, compete in competitions, learn your craft. So when you're competing, you have to do certain things to qualify, and you can start there, meet other cosplayers that you can work with as well, learn from them, and then find your niche. Are you more of a model? Are you a craftsman? What do you enjoy doing? Where's your passion lie? Are you a photo editor? Are you a photographer? Are you, someone that wants to do commissions and stay behind the scenes? Do you want to be an impersonator? An impersonator is a very cool style. I know a lot of men who do more impersonation as well, especially your Jack Sparrows and that sort of thing. And they'll put on these costumes and they'll be the character.
It's kind of funny that you said that, because I was at when I went to MegaCon with the Geek Insider badge. It was funny because Nita and I we were sitting taking a coffee break, and a guy dressed as Doc Holliday was walking by, and I didn't have my camera out or anything. I wish I did, and so as he was passing by, he said, "I'm your Huckleberry." He says, "You ain't no Daisy yourself." And he just stayed in character. It was so good. He had the little cup and everything. It was like, dude, yeah, I got to follow him. But having that interaction, being in character and stuff, that's got to be quite important, whether you're on the floor or just kind of.
And it's a lot of fun, and you just.
But isn't that exhausting also? Like if you're out in the food court and you're just taking a break and what is the etiquette when comes to things like that as far
If
as
someone's
approaching
eating, leave them
cosplayers?
alone. If someone's half in a costume, leave them alone. Don't take a photo of someone next to a trash can. Don't take a photo of someone with food in their mouth. It's rude. And please do not stand over them and wait for them to finish. So, come back later. People will just ask, or they'll be like, oh, I'll wait for you to finish. And then they're still standing like, why don't I just, I've had people ask for photos in the bathroom. I'm like, I want to take a picture of you in here. Like, let's do this outside of the bathroom, please. And zip me up while you're at it.
Yeah, etiquette is kind of important. I think
I
people.
did an article. It's in my Photobook 2, and which is available on my store. My entire trilogy is up there, and it is the do's and don'ts of interacting with cosplayers. I talk about look through their stuff. Don't put your arm around their shoulder and put your armpit on their shoulder, because then all your sweaty gunk gets on their shoulder and it makes their costume gross. Don't try to pick us up. Sometimes our costumes are damaging. You could hurt somebody. I had a guy get mad at me because I did not want to allow him to pick me up. He's like, can I pick you up? And I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't. And he says, well, I saw in your book that guy did. It's like, but I know that guy. I have a relationship with that guy. Yeah, my husband fucks me. I'm not going to let you do it. That's why we're not on Facebook, so I can knob off, right?
Yes. Yeah, Facebook is butt. The second thing that you had touched on earlier was the fact that you have contracts.
Yes.
Like a lot of people think, oh, you're just a cosplayer, you just get dressed and blah blah blah, and you pose and you smile and all that stuff. But there's a lot more to that, especially if you do things like what you do. You have done so many cosplay covers and things like that. Knowing your worth is a hard thing for a lot of people to figure out, but also protecting yourself with a contract.
It also protects them.
Yeah.
Because I know that there are people that'll just go and they'll just take your photos and they'll sell it or do whatever they want and not credit you. And so that's definitely, you want to make sure that you take, that you equally take care of people.
Well, credit is important too, because again, that builds up on your portfolio and, definitely on your resume. So that you can get those credentials, so that you can get those invites eventually, and treating it like a business, because I'm certain that there are plenty of people who just kind of do it as a hobby. But there are some people.
Fine. Hobbies are great. Absolutely. Do whatever. If you want to do it as a hobby, do it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Now you said something that perked my ears up. You said, learn your craft. People, I've seen this with the comic book industry. I've seen it in, prose writing, filmmaking and things like that. But I haven't really heard that much when it comes to cosplaying.
Really?
Learn your craft.
Learn to sew. Learn to embroider if you want to. Learn how to make foam armor. Learn painting techniques, learn, about fabrics. Like, people don't realize if you sew 4-way stretch wrong, it's going to snap. If you use a straight stitch on a 4-way stretch, the minute you put it on, it's going to go pop, 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 pop. But if you use a zigzag, but if that zigzag's too tight, you're gonna ripple.
So, one of the things.
Go use the stretchy elastic thread. Don't use the stretchy elastic thread.
Don't use the stretchy elastic. No, that stuff snaps anyway.
Yeah, it's a bitch to work with. Don't do that. Gold thread, silver thread. It's great. Good for embroidery. Not so good to sew with. It's gonna look cool. You're barely gonna see it. Don't bother.
Now, there was something that I saw a while ago, and it was how you made your angel wings.
Yes.
And so you do have tutorials and things like that. Where can people find those things?
I really don't have a lot. I did the angel wings. I don't do a lot of tutorials, but I do I do, I do buy patterns off of Etsy. I love patterns from Etsy, like my Ahsoka headpiece, which I'll do a tutorial after I redo it because I'm happy with it. And I'm not the pattern I bought was okay. It was a little small and it was meant for foam, but they didn't tell you it was meant for foam, which I could do it in craft foam now that I think about it. I could absolutely do it in craft foam and it would be seamless. Maybe I will, because I was going to do it in a white leather. But now I'm like, maybe I'll just do it in a craft foam. It would be super light and it would have the stiffness on the montrals that I want.
But see, that's all part of learning your craft too. It's just
Yeah.
like what materials work for you, what travels well.
Yeah, traveling. Okay, so we just went to KingCon, and my girl, she did her Xenomorph Priestess that she invented, and she made this face hugger out of foam clay. If you don't know about foam clay, learn about it because it's lightweight. You can make it out of real clay and sculpt this monster, and that's great, but it's gonna be heavy and it's gonna run the risk of breaking. Foam clay, a lot softer, very lightweight. She had it light up and all kinds of shit. It was cool. But her headpiece was too big to fit in her suitcase. And the way that it was set up so she could set it on her head and wear it, but also there were straps in the back that she could hold it like a shield. So it worked on multiple levels. It was great. But it didn't fit in her suitcase. She was like, so she folded the top over. It's like,
oh my God.
I know. So then we open it up. She pulls it out. There's some little crinkling. It's like, it's okay. It's all right. Hit it with a hairdryer. And I had hit my arm armor with the hairdryer too. Just take the hairdryer and it'll seal all that up. It's all good.
Mm-hmm. Again, knowing your craft, knowing what works and stuff like that, because
like you can use hot glue to put Eva foam together, which Eva foam and craft foam are the same thing, but Eva foam's thicker. You can buy it straight in rolls, but you can also buy those floor mats from Harbor Freight, and that's what Eva foam is. A lot of people do that when they're getting started, but then when you get to the point where you're like, I don't want to Dremel this texture off unless you're using it for something, so then you just buy like SKS's rolls. Mm-hmm. And it's nice and smooth. It's easy to work with. It's beautiful. I don't recommend getting the stuff from Michael's if you're going to sew it because it doesn't sew well. So well. See what I did there? But, just things like that. My wings. Okay, so my wings, I was looking and I was on a time crunch. I was on a big time crunch. I was looking for wings. And I found a beautiful, glorious set in Russia. Damn, I love these. These are so great. And I couldn't get them in time. I was like, I will pay for these wings. I couldn't get them in time. So I looked and I zoomed in. I looked very, very closely. What did she do? And I went to Home Depot and I bought some 10 gauge wire and I figured out that it was packing foam that, like you put your plates in between. And I patterned it out and I used E6000. I used a ton of it. So I used a contact cement for the black wings. It was so much easier. And I used so much less. But you got to do that shit outside because you'll die. So, but my first set of wings that I did for my my Candela, my succubus, they're smaller. I used those same wings in Lily the Demoness. And those I used fabric. I could have, and like knowing what I know now, I could have done better. I used craft foam. One of the things that you can do for like little horns and things like that, you can make it out of foam and then you can use hot glue to create your texture. And then you can paint over that. And if you really want to give it some texture, then you paint inside the lines to get your shadows and your depth, So there's just a lot of things. Hey, Guzman, how you doing? So, there's lots of little things that you can do. There's tutorials everywhere online. Figure stuff out. Play with it. Don't be afraid to mess it up.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing too, is because you do so much traveling, you've probably become an efficient machine when it comes to no, come on, Cara Nicole.
Don't judge me. This is my room over here.
Oh boy.
It's a mess. It is
Oh
a
my.
disaster. Yeah. Oh no. I'm very unorganized. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get situated. All my markers over here. I got more markers over there. I was in the middle of coloring in a piece and put on the phone. This is bullshit. Somebody help me.
So efficiency though, like what the heck do you do when you're traveling and oh my gosh, you might have forgotten something? Do you do with
Depends.
it depends?
Depends. What did I forget?
I don't know. It could be something like like pantyhose or your favorite convention shoes. Shoes have got to be important, especially if you're on your fiance.
Yeah. It really depends. It depends. What are you missing? Like there was one time I packed up all my costumes and didn't put the suitcases in the car.
Oh no.
I had nothing. I had nothing. I had my Jane Cobb hat that I wore, just that my husband was wearing all the time then. And I had my Firepower Mario hat that I just was wearing. It wasn't even a costume thing. I was just my
So
hat.
that's almost worse than the airport losing your luggage because you did it.
Because I did it. Yeah. So, but
Oh my
at least I
God.
know if I lose it, I'm going to get it back because I know where it is. It's in my house. So I went out to the mall and I'm like, I got these hats. Okay, let's get a shirt that matches, Jane, like it's that olive green. And I buy a lot of my costume clothes in the children's department. I am much smaller than anyone thinks. People think I'm like 6 feet tall. I'm not. I'm like 5'5", 115 pounds. Like I'm little. I'm very small. Even people like costume people, they're like,
Yeah.
take it
I would totally think you were like 6 foot Amazon,
No, I'm bitty. I'm very small. Like I had to get my wedding dress altered because the smallest they had was a 4, and I had to get it taken in. So yeah, no, I'm actually very small, and I I went to the mall, and I'm like, okay, what do I got? And I found this ugly red dress, but it worked. I got a couple of big orange yellow buttons from Walmart, and a little boy's white T-shirt, and I made a little. And I bought a sewing kit. I didn't even have sewing supplies, so I bought a little sewing kit, and I just sat there and I turned all this crap into my scissors and turned it into my Firepower Mario. And I
Oh
did a
my
Jane
God.
Cobb, and that's what I did.
See, and some people would probably just been like, nah, it's not worth it. I'm out of here.
I would
And
guess
just kind
at
of
the
give it up.
show I couldn't not do it.
Right.
And it wasn't anywhere near Halloween. I couldn't just go to Party City.
Oh my
So, a lot of times you can do those things. I can't, I forgot my Powergirl cape one time. So there was another booth and they were selling Superman capes, and it's a little orangey and it had the Superman symbol on it, but that's okay. She's Superman Universe. I just wore it and like, what do I got? Dug through my stuff. I had a button, and it had some gold in it, and I used that as and it was advertising for a book. So I'm like, okay,
That works.
there's my disc, and I took the chain off of one of my necklaces, and that was my chain, and that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally rolling with it. Well, we are past our 30-minute mark. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to give some love to the Luke Stone art and benefit auction that we are planning for November 13th and 14th. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with Cara Nicole after this. Hey guys, this is Meredith Loughran at Ragin ABC. We're organizing an art and swag bag auction to help one of our fellow indie creators and his family after a near-death experience with COVID-19. After months in the ICU under a drug-induced coma, our good friend Luke Stone is in a rehabilitation facility. He and his family need your help with continued thoughts and prayers, but also to help make ends meet. My personal connection with Luke is through friendship, but he's also the person who gave me my very first comic book writing credit in Hybrids, the Sons of God's trade paperback, Trash Day. This special live stream event is scheduled for November 13th and 14th, and we'll be updating our website with a catalog of items up for auction. If you wish to donate art, books, or a goodie bag, contact Nita Lanning or me at Ragin ABC gmail.com. Please share this out with your friends and help spread the word. As a community, we might not be able to help everyone, but we can try, one person at a time.
Hey, thanks for sticking around. My name's Luke Stone. I'm the writer and artist behind Hybrids. First, I want to give a heartfelt thank you to everyone who has supported this project over the years and who has been along the journey with me. You see, the very first time that I really ever wrote a script was Hybrids 1. And the first time I really did any kind of digital art was with Hybrids 1 and some of the concept art for that. But hopefully you will enjoy the journey of this story as I grew not only as a writer and an artist, but also as an individual in my in my own life in all aspects, because it definitely was a journey, and some of those things found their way into the pages of this story. I've tried to put a little piece of myself in all of it, and I've tried to put a little piece of all the people that I've been able to meet along my own personal journey in it as well, so that there's something there for everybody to connect with. Thank you again for making it to the end of this video, and I look forward to not only just being able to give you this story, but also to meet you one day, hopefully in person, or at least through some kind of contact where we can share kind of our love for comics and our love for the medium. So have a great day, and God bless you.
And we are back. We are raging with Cara Nicole, episode 63. Let me drop the card here and say hello again.
Hello again.
So, getting back into the business of cosplay, you do other things, though.
I do?
Yes, you do. Comic
I'll take your word
books.
for it.
Comic books.
Yes.
You've done your own music videos,
Absolutely.
film, and things like that. If there was one thing, if you could only pick one thing, I know this is a tough question. Which one would it be? Which one would you be like, no, this is it. This is it. Everything else, I would hate for it to fall away, but I can live if I only have this one thing.
So that's a really hard question, because I would say if it was for like financial longevity, then writing is where it's at. Like Alfred and I, we make great books. Like and we go round. Like imagine going into work every day, you put on your boxing gloves, you're like, all right, and going and fight, ding ding ding. Like we end up with such a great product. We end up with such a good product. Like when we do it together, like he's good and I'm good, but you put us together and boom, like we are on it. We keep each other in check. Like I bring him down out of the clouds. He pulls me up, because I'm a little more like, how is this going to work in the real world? And he's more like, don't care. And so we really balance each other very well. Like we just, but I love music. I love music, and I can't play anything. I can kind of read music, but if it was a matter of like, you don't need, like, you could live off this forever, I feel like music just makes your soul shine, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, music is it reaches all ages, it reaches all cultures, you know.
Instead, we've got this horror coming out. Oh God.
What's it like working with your significant other? Some people would probably be putting in divorce papers.
Yeah.
I personally work well with my husband, but that's like more in a retail environment, not so much creative, because, you know, when it comes to like trying to write together, I'm just like, you just go over there, leave me alone.
Right.
Not good.
Well, and I grew up, so my husband's family, they were retailers, they were salesmen, traveling salesmen, and my family owned like a convenience store. Like my aunt and uncle owned a convenience store, and I started working there very, very young. So I've always had a job, like pretty much always had a job. And so small business is kind of like in my blood and my life. It's just a part of it. So I mean, we're very odd. We're very committed. So if we're going into like that whole thing, I'll tell you, we are incredibly committed, and you have to be very, very honest. And a lot of people aren't. There's a lot of manipulative couples, and we got to lay it out. I'll be like, look, I'm pissed. I don't know why. I want what I want, and I know I can't have it, but I want Dairy Queen. My jelly bar in the car. You know, and you have to be very honest, and you have to be open, and you have to listen. You have to listen not just with your ears. You got to listen with your fucking soul. Like, you have to be committed, because all your eggs are in one basket. I mean, we can divorce, and then what? Who gets fire bitch? Who gets custody of chastity? Yeah.
That is wow. Well, like, yeah, when you're working together, because you have so many things associated with each other, it's like, no, dude, we can't afford to get divorced.
We, you know, it
One of
really
us is gonna die.
right. Like we're just gonna decide. We're just gonna go into Thunderdome, and one of us is not
Right?
coming out.
Only one shall come out.
Yes, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Oh
That's
my
kind of the
goodness.
way it is.
Uh-huh.
You know, so that's you know, we have so many properties. You know, he does my photography. Like, we have ownership of all of these things, and you know, let me tell you, I'm not saying ever stay in an abusive relationship or whatever, but take these things into consideration. That is it better to have a good, long, honest, deep discussion with your partner, or lose half of everything you own?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and you do love them for a reason, so love them.
Yeah.
And Albert and I are very committed, and we're very good about that. We're very
I think the communication part is so important. You know, when you break the communication, it's just like then there's nothing. You know, and oftentimes when we communicate with each other, we might not like what we're hearing, but take the time to hear them out. You
well,
know,
and communication is not just you yakking and them saying, uh-huh, okay. You both gotta talk, and you both gotta listen. And as a woman, I know it's hard to shut up.
my favorite, quote unquote favorite, is you know, when you're talking to somebody and it's like you're trying to have these bullet points. It's like, you know, of why, and you're trying to convince them, and you see their eyeballs jiggling in their heads because they're not listening. They're only waiting
For
for their
their
turn to talk. And I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, are you hearing anything? It's like, no. It's so frustrating. Oh my gosh. But we are pulling up your campaign here, and doing rather well. 201 backers. You've got
Yes, we hit
3
our goals
days
so
to
far. I'm working on our neck. I'm working on one of the stretch goals.
one more stretch goal. Well, you hit the 200 backer stretch goal.
Yeah,
So
and then and I'm working and I'm ordering these, just so you know. Like, I'm ordering these. I want these in. I want to be able to get these to you like now. So there is no backer kit. There is no CrowdOx. There is no pledge box. You're getting your survey, and we're getting stuff out.
Mhm.
This is where our final week, big push. We're trying to put up other things. I want people to really understand the months. The images for the months are available as double-sided prints. So this is our VIP collection, and we really went different with this.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we have multiple covers. We've got 3 covers. We've got our Fire Bitch cosplay cover, and then we have our Powergirl in bondage cover, and then we have our maid cover. So those are the 3 main cosplay covers we have. But then we also have a corresponding photo book. So if you're like, oh, well, I already bought a calendar from blah, 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 or I don't want a calendar up, you can get those same images in a photo book. But it's different covers. We've got a different Fire Bitch cover, a different maid, and a different bondage. We also have packs available where you can get an 8x10 with those that fall under that realm. So this is just an example of a couple of the months. And you can see that we have a big image and a little image. It looks good out there. And so the one side is going to be the main image with no calendar on it. And then you flip it over, and that little image is going to be a print as well. It's going to be a big one on the other side of that print. So you get
very cool.
2 for the price of 1. So what you do is you have the nice side out, for when company comes over, and then when everyone leaves, you flip it over to the naughty side. And some of these are new. So the Harley and the Loki, super new. Same with the Mage. Same with the the Cruella.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, that Ahsoka's not going to be in there. I got a better one.
So when it came to putting together the idea of the calendar, was it kind of like a theme, or was it kind of based on like obviously with seasons and things like that, like cold weather, maybe
A little
maybe
bit,
you're
yeah. We usually do have a little bit of that going on. Like you're going to get your beachy pictures in the summer,
Mhm.
but Cosplay Visions, you can see it's got kind of a sexy side with your small, other guy at the bottom. Last year we did Cos Lingerie, where all the characters are in lingerie. And then we did a calendar once where all the characters had big, majestic, like lighting effects. So every year we do something different.
Now
So
is
you
this
can buy, but like I said, you can choose the photo book option, and the
right?
photo book option is going to have 2 additional characters in it as well, and it's comic book size.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the Wonder Woman.
Is it something new that you've done as far as like safe for work and not safe for work, or
No.
is that something that you've always done?
You know what? You look at me. I am always not safe for work. Don't even think you're taking this shit. It's not going to happen. Like, and I've had a few people say, "Oh, you should have a nice one." Why? No one fucking buy it. Like I would. Okay, so what? I'm going to sell 5, and then I got to do like 3 times the amount of work, and then get a printer to do that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So I had, like I said, I had the Shibari done by. I was not just tied up, and I will not just let anyone tie me up. I know this guy. I know his work. We discuss other people's Shibari. I'm actually helping him to create his Shibari book for Kickstarter as well. So
for anybody who doesn't really know, what exactly is Shibari?
It is the art of rope tying. I'm sure that there's more words to it, but it's basically kinky rope.
Mm-hmm. And we did another show with you recently where you were saying this was for April Grady Reyna's launch party, and you were saying how it's freeing, which sounds.
He was saying it was freeing.
She was saying that it was freeing.
He was saying it's freeing, but I mean, and I don't like to talk about those kind of things because I don't want anyone to do anything that they're uncomfortable with based on my recommendation. Never do what I do.
Right.
Never do what I do. I will tell you, my mother used to say something and I didn't really understand it until do as I say, not as I do. I make stupid ass mistakes so you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I learn and I want to spread the news of these things and make sure you're safe. And I am very fortunate. If I die, well, fuck me, I guess. But
but I'm seeing even
sure
here, there's like pattern in the ties and stuff like
and
that.
There's specific types of rope you use. And we talk about when we look at other people, we're like, yeah, they did that wrong. You can see if you're turning purple, no.
Right. If you're leaving bruises and chafe marks and stuff like that, no
you
good.
might have a little bit of bruising depending on who you are, if you fall or whatever, but you should not be excessively bruised. You should not be in pain.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to probably be uncomfortable, but you should never be in pain.
Right. And so we're seeing some not safe for work here. I mean, we've got all the bits kind of covered and stuff like that.
Kind of covered. So the 8x10 print, that's the soft set. So that's your nice girl set. Everything's covered. And that's what you're getting. Everything's covered, and then you have your topless set where you've got the book and they're virgin covers, and I specify in there, not a virgin. Virgin means that there is no writing on the cover. The one exception to this, let me tell you, is if you have a numbered set of something and it is a virgin, the numbers will still be there for that purpose, but there's no header, there's nothing. And actually that the guy that did the Shibari, he also did some of the photography. He shot that Powergirl with the stars. And then this is the VIP collection. This is the first time I've done something like this where for VIPs and above, no, it will not be an add-on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a Cosplay Visions explicit book. So it's a comic book size book with 8 pages of like erotic nudes, toplesses, of me. And I haven't done like a book like that before. And it was a suggestion from one of my producers. And I'm like, hey, I got you, man. Got you.
Right. Now, so something that you had said earlier about, like going to your first photo shoot and stuff like that, and saying you can keep your clothes on and stuff like that. What was the first experience for you, if you don't mind talking about it, of like getting undressed?
I've been shooting for years. I have. I've been absolutely shooting for years. So I'm not the best example, but in cosplay was with the guy that did that bondage. He was one of my first photographers, and I shot it at a friend's house, a male friend's house, because he had a nicer place, and he's super, super clean freak. So we went in and trashed the place. We cleaned it all up, but it annoyed him so much. It was amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, that's what I did, and I was amongst friends, or people who I thought were my friends. Find that out in issue 2 of Impressions of a Cosplay Diva, which will be out next year. And so I was in a safe place with people I trusted. It wasn't just my friend who was a guy, it was him and his wife. And I was working with a photographer who I knew pretty well. And like that photographer seen me naked more than my gynecologist. Like he's one of my nearest and dearest. He's like, hey, can I borrow $10? I'm like, you can borrow 20. Like he's one of he's like my ride or die. Now go back up a little bit. I want to talk about that. These are my add-ons. So this is the puzzle. You can get a puzzle.
I love puzzles.
It's got all those guys on it. Did we pass the towel yet?
No, not yet. Not to the towel yet.
So
but,
these are the months, and I never do. This is the first time I've actually advertised the months because I want to give you the opportunity to get these in the add-ons. Yeah,
and again, these are double-sided images.
They're double. So yeah, you get the big image, and then you get the little image. The hostess, the Catwoman, the Christmas with the Momar, the Ahsoka, Elvira, Chitara.
Now, how many cosplays do you think you've done, like different characters and things?
I have no idea. One time I cosplayed my friend Kit. I don't give a shit. Yeah. So that was go back. Yep. There we go. That's a towel.
The towel.
That's a towel.
Oh my goodness.
That's a towel. It is, and it's big. It's a 40 by 60, a 40-inch by 60-inch bath towel.
Oh my goodness.
It's cool. It's cool.
Now,
stretch goals. So the first one was the Powergirl window sticker. So it's a window. Yay. The digital release of Beautiful. We've got that song. The White Queen magnet. The Ms. Marvel print. That's a double-sided one. The Spider-Gwen sticker. The Christmas ornament. It's so cute. And then side 2 of the Ms. Marvel. So you get the naughty nice on the Ms. Marvel. And those are actually done in high gloss, double-sided cardstock. The Laundry Day selfie postcard, that was actually shot at the Selfie Museum. So that was a lot of fun. And then you get the 4x6 calendar magnet with the blonde Wonder Woman. I did the calendar magnet before, but I did it as Powergirl. So this one's a Wonder Woman. You get the Secret Heart holofoil sticker and the coaster.
It's unlocked now.
Coaster.
It is officially unlocked.
It is officially unlocked. As well as the sexy mini digital set. And then the music video upside. And I need to reorganize that, but I just want to make sure you guys saw it. Double-sided door hanger. And if you notice, all my stretch goals are cosplay based, except for the Secret Heart sticker and like the music and stuff. But I really wanted these very cosplay heavy. So this is one side of the She-Hulk, and the quotes from there are Jennifer's quotes. So nothing a little physical discussion can't cure. And then this is side 2
The do not disturb side, I would
Yeah,
think.
the do not disturb side, yes. And this was interesting. There's all this headroom, but you got to remember there's going to be a hole there. And
Right.
every image that I tried to put into the thing, it's like, there's a big hole where my head goes. The
Oh
doorknob is
no.
my head now, so I had to like redesign everything, and and it says looking for my body. It's right here. The poker chip. Have we hit the poker chip? I think we did hit the poker chip. Maybe
I think
37.5.
I
We either
think
hit
we
it or
have.
we're close to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then to be determined on the 40. Definitely
Wow.
sharing is caring, and we keep rearranging these so you can see everything that's
Right.
going on in there. We're gonna have some examples of the double-sided prints, and people can really understand what's going on. Like I said, we're getting everything. Like everything is being ordered. Like
Right. So now tell me, because we've only got a couple minutes left in the hour, what has been like the most challenging photo set that you've ever been to?
I don't know. That's really like Wonder Woman. I was thrown out of Times Square.
Mm-hmm. Oh, was that like guerrilla photography, or did you guys actually have a permit?
I did not have a permit. I didn't know I needed a Times Square a permit, and it was kind of guerrilla photography. Um, so yeah, we kind of did that, and I don't know.
Well, I mean,
So
is there so kind of based on that, what would be like your dream location then for a photo shoot?
no one's ever asked me that. I don't know, someplace nice, somebody really nice. I don't know.
What is nice to you?
Like I
Is it
love the
woods? Is
woods.
it the
Well,
beach?
I shoot in a lot of places, and it's just very odd because like I wanted to shoot out in the woods, right? And so I go to shoot out in the woods, and it's great, but there's bees everywhere, and I
Oh
got
no.
stung in the crotch.
Oh no.
And
Oh
like I wanted to
no.
shoot on a beautiful beach in Mexico, and there was no one around. And I'm naked on a beach in Mexico, and then I got all sick because it turns out they were dumping sewage in that water.
Oh no. Oh my gosh.
I don't want to sabotage myself. Oh, I shot in the woods in Canada practically naked, and that was cool. And then I got attacked by a swan.
Yeah, and they have mosquitoes that can kind of carry you away too.
They do, they do. So I don't know. I mean, what do I say? The moon? Uh,
Oh my
I was
god.
talking to the guy about NASA about that. Like, can I do something about that?
Uh, oh my goodness. So we've
So
got the Cosplay Visions 2022 calendar and photo book. Lots of add-ons, lots of options. Love that puzzle. That puzzle is
you
amazing.
get
Is
it
now
right.
is the puzzle, is that also an add-on? Or
Yes, the puzzle is an add-on. It does come in the producer tiers, which are all
Mhm.
sold out. And oh no, they're not. The regular producer tiers. There's a couple of producers left. The executive producer and the international producer are sold out. And the producers come with the towel, and they come with the puzzle. And the puzzle's like 200 and something pieces. I don't remember exactly, but it is over 200 pieces.
So you guys can get all wrapped up in Cara Nicole with that amazing beach towel.
Isn't that fun? I'm like, that's so cool. But I didn't want to announce it because I wanted to make sure that the print shop did not have a problem. So
Oh,
making sure that there were not any logistical issues, because there are certain places that will not that won't print certain things. So I
uh-huh.
needed to be very conscientious of that.
Hmm. And as we close out here, too, we're kind of scrolling through the images on your Kickstarter here. Where are you going to be appearing next as far as conventions? Are you done for
I am
2021?
done for 2021, but I am going to be at the Atomic Comics relaunch on like National Comic Book Shop Day, November 24th
Hmm.
in like Mesa-ish, Arizona. And that's very, very cool. Atomic Comics was the first store I went to in Arizona when I moved here, and it is a staple of our community, and they did go bankrupt at one point. So now they are opening up again and they're back. So we're all very excited to kind of go back to our comic book store. You know, it's a new location and everything, but still, like, we're very excited about that. And you know, keep an eye out because might be doing another store event. We're also, like I said, looking at doing this. Like, we got invited to the online music festival.
Oh, very cool.
So there is that. And then every Tuesday night on my Patreon, I do movie night where we all get together and hang out and chit chat. And, you know, so if you want to join my Patreon, join us on Tuesday nights for movie night. And I will be going live from time to time throughout the week to, you know, keep everyone apprised of this book and this, you know, what's going on.
Well, and just because you've got an active Kickstarter doesn't mean that all other work ends.
That's right.
So what have you got coming in the near future then?
What do you mean by near future? Isn't it now?
Near future, as in your next crowdfund, maybe your next project.
Unstable Frequencies is our horror anthology. So what we're doing actually with this is you're getting all 4 stories in the big book, but then you can get smaller floppies of each individual story so that you can get all those sweet, you know, variant covers. We've got some really sexy variant covers, and this is a horror series. And
when can people be looking forward to seeing things about that?
I don't know. We've actually started posting. We've been posting some of the covers and starting to get there and post some of those and letting people know that this is coming, giving you sneak peeks of that. And you'll get more of that as well. We also still have on Indiegogo the card campaign. You asked how many cosplays I've done. Enough to do a deck of 54 cards and not duplicate a costume and have to choose which costumes we're not going to put in.
So when you look for real estate, I'm guessing that you look for closets or the extra room for all of your stuff.
You know, I added on, actually. I just added on to my house.
Oh, you just...
I just added on. Yeah.
So I need a room for my clothes.
I do. That's this room. Like, this room is my cosplay. This is my diva den.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is my diva den with my pink wall and my pineapple and my rotary phone and my baby Yoda. And, you know, my radio box, Biotic Star Monkey Experience, and my Magic 8 Ball. Will my cosplay book campaign fund?
Don't tell
again later.
Oh no. At least it didn't say it is uncertain.
Right. So yeah, I do have to have. So I still have my other studio out in the main studio area with Alfred, but it's nice to have a private location so that I can do more shows like this, and people don't have to worry about, you know, getting in my way, or you know, Alex is always like, like he's like the loudest ass bird in the whole world. Birds aren't real; they're drones.
Well, being that Unstable Frequencies is coming up next. You said that's an anthology. Is that an anthology of works that you did? Was it invited people? I mean, what was that?
So this was actually my idea, and a lot of times it's things that Alfred draws, and then he gets ideas, and then we just kind of roll with it. But this one was mine, and I'm like, I just have these thoughts, and I'm like, I want to put this into, you know, like a horror anthology, and you know, so he was cool with that, and we started rolling with it, and then he started coming up with ideas, and he had some, and we combined his ideas and my ideas, and so this one has 4 stories in it, and they're all horror, but it's not gore. I will tell you that now. It is not gore. There is some very exciting scenes. There is, you know, there's just everything you can think of, and it's not gore. I mean, there's a little bit of, there's a little bit of gruesomeness, but it's not anything that you have to, we're not talking torture porn or any of that sort of
Right.
shit.
Well, I mean, it's such a switch from Fire Bitch, though. What was it something that you were like, I just want to do something different? Or what was the inspiration behind that?
I love horror.
Mhm.
Fire Bitch was an accident. Like, seriously, Alfred just like drew this girl and was goofing around, and he was like, she needs a name, and Mike DeValvo was like, Fire Bitch, and we're like, yes. And then I'm like, and there's aliens, and then she goes to another planet, and she gets these, and Alfred's looking at me like, okay, we're rolling with it. And I get a lot of, you should make that a movie. I'm like, it's not even on this planet. Animated. Like, seriously, Fire Bitch would make a good animated series. Like, tell me it would. You've read it, right?
Mhm.
Like, Fire Bitch would make a great, like, Adult Swim.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. And it's not, people think, oh, there's sex in it. There's one sex scene and you don't see anything.
Right. So why are we only seeing horror for the first time now?
Well, because I wanted to. I don't know.
I mean, being that you love horror and stuff like that,
I do.
it's good to see. It's good to see the dark side of Cara Nicole.
It is. I mean, we just it was. I guess the idea had not really come around that we were going to be making books together. It was Alfred's going to do what he does and draw and get jobs with other people, and fuck this, let's put out our own shit. Okay. Right. I didn't have the confidence. I'll tell you, I did not have the confidence to put out what I wanted. And then it was just like, just do it. Just do it already. Mm-hmm. God, what's your problem? Eat the food, Tina. And like, and I'm really coming to terms with the do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Like, especially when you see what kind of trash and crap's out there, you're like, hey, that idiot published this shit. Okay.
Yeah, I can do better. I love that. I love that because a lot of times people get in their own way and then they create nothing.
And I will get in my own way. And, I'm like, no, I don't want to. I want to put out my stories. And, I have a lot of issues like, I don't like my story. I don't know. You know what? And people are liking my stories. You always have those people that are like, okay, fine. Don't like my story. You don't have to. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. You don't have to like my story. Not everything is for everyone.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to. It's all good.
Yep. Yeah, you cannot please everybody. So you might as well please yourself.
That's what I say when I don't have anyone in bed next to me, Alfred.
Oh no.
You don't go to bed with me right now, because if you don't go to bed with me right now, if you're not with somebody.
On that note, you guys, we have blasted past our hour. We are Raging with Cara Nicole, and we've got all the links to follow her on her social media, her website, her Patreon, her OnlyFans, as well as the Kickstarter. So make sure that you get over there and give it some love. If you've backed it already, thank you. If you haven't, give it a like and a share, and give it a look. There's a lot of stuff, a little bit for everybody, and ring in the new year right with Cosplay Visions 2022 calendar and photo book. And since my co-host is not here this evening, Cara Nicole, I'm going to ask you for one thing here. Can you say, throw my dudes?
Say what?
Throw my dudes.
Throw my dudes.
We're out of here, you guys. Have a great evening, and thank you for tuning in. Have a great evening. Hey there, this is Meredith Loughran with Ragin', and I wanted to let you know that we encourage and promote independent creators and their projects through organic interaction, consultations, and more. Visit Nita and me at RaginABC.com for details and contact information. Hit the button.